Hey Astro Kids, and welcome back. And in today's video, we'll be talking about the 7th house lord in all 12 houses. Let's go ahead and jump right into this. So before we start, I first want to give a quick disclaimer. I am using Vedic sidereal astrology. So if you are using Western tropical astrology, you will not get the correct interpretation for the 7th house lord. To make sure that you have the correct information, make sure to check out my calculator down below in the description. Along with this, we first have to understand what does the 7th house and its lord represent in the natal chart to fully understand how it will function in each of the 12 houses. So the 7th lord has everything to do with marriage and partnership because the 7th house is directly opposite to the 1st house. It is where the sun sets in the west, where it is all about going into relationships, into partnerships, into commitment, because that 1st house is all about the self, all about the individual. So the 7th house being directly across from it is about how we have to compromise with others, how we have to negotiate, how we have to deal with others within a partnership or commitment. The 7th house also represents the masses. It is other people. It is all about your position and status in the world, all about popularity, all about the marketplace itself, about doing business and trade is seen in this 7th house. The 7th house also deals with foreign lands, with foreign travel and foreign exchange. This is a house that is about business dealings, business contracts, business partnerships, but also marriage partnerships. It is all about our long-term committed relationships. And so the 7th lord will tell us a lot about how we deal with relationships and commitments and how we seek out security and support through others. So to understand what your 7th house lord is, you want to see what planet is ruling over your 7th house according to your ascendant in your D1 Rashi chart. So for Aries, you want to look to Venus. For Taurus, you want to look to Mars and Ketu in your chart. For Gemini, you want to see where has Jupiter gone. For Cancer, you want to see where is Saturn in your chart. For Leo, where is Saturn and Rahu in your chart. For those of you with Virgo ascendant, you want to see where is Jupiter. And some also say that Ketu is the ruler of Pisces as well. So you want to see where is Jupiter and Ketu in your chart. For Libra ascendant, you want to see where has Mars gone in your chart. For Scorpio, where is Venus and where is the moon in your chart? For Sagittarius, where has Mercury gone in your chart? For Capricorn ascendants, where is the moon in your chart? For Aquarius, where is the sun position in your chart? And lastly, for Pisces, where is Mercury? But also some say that Virgo is ruled over by Rahu as well. So you want to see where have these two planets gone in your natal chart. So if you have your 7th house lord in the 1st house of your chart, then this is definitely going to put a huge emphasis on relationships because the 1st house is you. It is your general life, your general focus and direction. So this is definitely going to put a great importance in wanting to be in a relationship and seeking out a potential partner. This placement can make you slightly dominating in your relationships as well. You take charge of your relationships. You are always the one who initiates or puts yourself in a position to find a suitable partner, to find that relationship that you are seeking. So this is a very direct position as far as your connection with partnerships and dealing with other people. Sometimes this placement can make you a bit selfish as well, depending upon how it is placed in the chart. You seek the attention and security from other people. This puts a huge focus on yourself in your relationships. This placement also can be good for business. We have the 7th house lord, which is dealing with business and business partnerships coming into the 1st house of the chart. So you can be very skilled with business. You can be very hardworking, very much goal-oriented, and determined to achieve success. Sometimes, though, this position can create some conflicts within business partnerships because, once again, this placement is very much focused on yourself. This is definitely a placement that is all about seeking a sense of security through your relationships. So you put a great deal of importance on closeness, on intimacy. You don't like to be alone when the seventh house lord has gone into the first house of the chart. This definitely makes you inclined towards wanting to have a relationship. And sometimes if the seventh house lord is badly afflicted, then this means that you will take any means to get involved in relationships, even if it is underhanded. So you definitely want to be careful about this, playing mind games, doing anything that is sneaky in order to get into relationships. Sometimes you also can actually gain security through your partner, whether that be wealth, property, or a feeling of closeness is emphasized by this placement. At the same time, though, because the seventh house lord is connected to this seventh house, this marka house, there can be difficulties or crisis situations in your relationships. And again, if this is leaning more towards malefic, you can become too dominating, too selfish in your partnerships, which can also lead to conflict. If the seventh house lord has gone into the second house of the chart, this is definitely going to make you skilled at business. Because again, this seventh house is related to how we do business dealings. And the second house also is related to our finances, to our money. So this can make you very skilled at dealing with money and acquiring wealth through your business skills. This is definitely a great position for your ability to acquire wealth and security through your relationship as well. You like to have a feeling of being together, doing things together, making decisions together around finances, around security, around your family life. This becomes extremely important to you. This placement also can increase your desires in your relationships because this is directly opposing the eighth house of the chart, which is all about sexuality, intimacy, and the deeper components of your relationship. So having that feeling of closeness and security once again becomes extremely important to you. Sometimes because the second house is related to the throat, you could find yourself meeting a partner in situations that involve restaurants, that involve any sort of daily activities that have to do with food, with connecting with people in close, intimate situations. This placement can also show that you meet your spouse through your family. With this placement, the eighth house also becomes very important. So you could find yourself working as a doctor, as a nurse, a counselor, therapist, someone who is able to heal, to help those in need, to deal with crisis and emergency situations. And this could also be something that is related to your spouse and the career that they have as well. Definitely this is a great position for starting a family because again, the focus is on a sense of security. If the seventh house lord has gone into the third house of the chart, this can create some conflicts in your relationship because the third house is a place that is all about conflict and asserting yourself, doing things that are risky are seen through this house. So this can create some potential conflicts in your relationships, particularly if this is a malefic or if this is badly damaged. And this can come from communication. With this placement, you definitely need to have similar belief systems or to be on the same page on a mental level. This placement is excellent for meeting partners through spiritual or philosophical pursuits. This also can make you a very skilled and talented person. You could deal with careers that have to do with salesmanship, with writing, with entrepreneurship, with knowledge, teaching, philosophy, religion. This definitely makes you inclined towards religious beliefs and towards wanting to do what is right in life. This placement also keeps you active in your relationships. You love to be on the go, to be involved with fitness activities in your relationships. This definitely helps to strengthen the bond between you and your partner. With this placement, you could also meet your spouse while traveling or within a university setting. There's definitely a huge emphasis on learning, on wanting to gain deeper knowledge and understanding. If the seventh house lord has gone into the fourth house of the chart, this can be auspicious in some cases. You want to see what is the planet that's coming into this fourth house. Is it malefic or is it a benefic? And how is this planet aspected here in this fourth house? But definitely this can make you inclined towards wanting to seek status and authority in life, as this will directly aspect onto the 10th house of the chart. So you can be a very ambitious and hardworking person driven towards success. And definitely with this placement, you could find yourself becoming very wealthy, very prominent, very successful. Other people can see you as an authority figure, as someone to look up to. And with the 7th house Lord coming into this 4th house, your spouse can also see you in this way as well. So this can put you in a position of authority within your relationships. You're the one wearing the pants, making the decisions in your partnership. This placement definitely makes you someone who's very intelligent, who is very organized, very systematic. You are very hardworking and dedicated, and you seek these qualities in your partner as well. If the 7th house Lord has gone into the 5th house of the chart, then this typically is seen as a positive placement because the 5th house is all about romance, dating. So this is definitely auspicious for your love life. This tends to give you a great love connection, and definitely this is a position where you have a lot of love and understanding towards your partner. They become someone who's very important to you. This placement can also make you someone who's very talented. So you could find yourself business-wise going into areas of music, dance, drama, entertainment, sports. This is definitely a position where you want to express yourself, where you want to be seen in the public with this placement. This also sometimes is a great position for financial opportunities and for risk-taking ventures. This definitely is a placement that also gets you into wanting to connect with others because this directly aspects onto the 11th house of your social network. So with this placement, you want your spouse to be involved with your social groups, with your gatherings, and you can even meet a partner through your friends, through your elder siblings, and through your network circles. This placement can definitely make you inclined towards humanitarian causes and wanting to do good in the world with your spouse. You can be very involved with social causes, political causes, with anything where you are part of something that is greater than yourself. The 5th house also deals with mantra and scripture, so this can get you interested in spirituality, meditation, all sorts of mystical practices, occult knowledge, sacred knowledge, past knowledge, and this is something that is great to share with your partner as well. If the 7th house Lord has gone into the 6th house of the chart, this is a bit of a tricky position because the 6th house is the first of the Dastana houses, which are some of the most challenging houses. So as the 7th house Lord comes into the 6th house, this can definitely create some conflicts and difficulties around relationships. Sometimes this is a placement where there is a feeling that your partner is not able to live up to your standards, and this becomes something that is especially true in long-term committed relationships. You can become very critical, very judgmental, pointing out all of the little flaws and inconsistencies in your partner and can feel very dissatisfied within your relationship. This is a placement where sometimes you're unable to see your own faults and weaknesses, but instead are projecting this onto your partner. So definitely this is a placement that requires a lot of inner work, a lot of self-reflection, as this directly aspects onto the 12th house of meditation and isolation. It's all about going inward and understanding who you are and what your weaknesses are, what your strengths are, and how to improve and better yourself in order to make your relationships work. Definitely with this position, this is great for doing any kind of social work, charity work, volunteering, helping those in need with this placement. You and your partner can be involved in all sorts of social causes, wanting to help those in need. This is a very healing position, and this can also get you interested into medicine, into fitness, into diet with your partner as well. Sometimes foreign lands can take you away from your partner, so you want to be careful about creating distance in your relationship. This can definitely create conflicts, but this is also a great placement to take your partner with you on foreign journeys to distant places and to get involved into spirituality, meditation, religion, philosophy. All of this helps to strengthen your relationship. Sometimes with this placement, this can take you into business fields related to psychology, counseling, healing, anything where you are giving help to others. Veterinarians, social work, social services, definitely this is an excellent placement for this. And this can also be related to the type of work that your spouse is into as well. If the 7th house Lord has gone into the 7th house, this tends to be a good placement because now the 7th house Lord is in his own house. So this is definitely a great position where you can get a lot of support, love, and encouragement through your partner. Definitely with this placement, your success tends to rise in marriage and partnership. You work really well with your spouse, and this placement sometimes can even get you into joint business with your spouse as well. This placement, though, is difficult sometimes if there are malefic planets involved, because your partner can definitely be someone who's very prominent, who's very successful in life, who has very high status. And when the negative planets or malefic planets get involved, this can create a feeling of jealousy. So definitely you want to be careful of this. This can create all sorts of conflicts within your relationship. But typically your partner helps to raise you up in your potential to be successful, helps to encourage you, to motivate you to move towards success. And with this placement, it's important to allow your partner to be independent, to be who they are, because this is directly aspecting onto the first house of self. This placement also tends to be good for business because, again, that seventh house is all about the marketplace, all about the public, dealing with other people. So this can make you an excellent business person. This can make you very intuitive in the marketplace, understanding the trends, understanding how to please others. This can be a great position for entrepreneurship or for business partnership. But again, if the malefics are involved, there can be conflicts within business partnerships also. Sometimes this placement can mean that you can meet a spouse within a business situation or within a marketplace in some way. Some place where there's business happening, where there are deals, contracts being made, can be a meeting place of your spouse. And definitely with this being the original zone of Libra, communication is the key to making your relationship work. It's all about having a mental bond with your partner, having a close friendship and connection to support your relationship. If the seventh house lord has gone into the eighth house of the chart, this can be very difficult, similar to the sixth house, another Dastana house, bringing some challenges and difficulties around relationships. So with the seventh house lord coming into this eighth house of sudden ups and downs, there can be some dramatic transformations in your relationships. Your relationships can completely transform your life direction with this placement. This can take you from the highs to the lows. And with this placement, this also is good for any business dealing with crisis situations, dealing with emergencies. The medical field can be seen with this placement for sure. This can also be good for psychology, for helping others through their troubles and difficulties. Along with this, the eighth house is a very mystical house, which can take you into astrology and occult subjects. You want to be careful though, because this is a very secretive house. So you want to make sure that you're being honest in your relationships and not doing anything behind the scenes. There can be all sorts of scandals, affairs that can take place with this position, either by you or your partner. So you want to definitely avoid all of these actions, as this can come out into the open and cause all sorts of conflicts for you. Sometimes this placement can give difficulty around being vulnerable, being honest, or around trusting others. Again, there's a secretive quality to this eighth house. Definitely with this placement, security is the most important thing to you, because this will directly aspect onto the second house, which is all about your sense of security. So you're seeking this feeling of security within your relationships. And definitely with this placement, this can bring wealth to you through your partnerships as well. Sometimes this is also a great position for dealing with long-term investments, stock market, anything that is getting into risky ventures. But again, you want to avoid any kind of secret or scandalous dealings, as this can cause difficulties for you. If the seventh house lord has gone into the ninth house of the chart, this tends to be a good placement, because the ninth house, similar to the fifth, is bringing back our past karmas. So this placement tends to bring a lot of blessings and opportunities to you through your marriage. This is definitely a great position for happiness and love and support with this placement. This can definitely show that you could meet your partner in a university setting, in a religious setting, or in foreign lands through travel. Your partner could even be from a different cultural background with this position. This also, though, can make you very open in terms of your approach towards relationships. You could find yourself attracted to many different people, and many people can also become attracted to you. So you want to be careful about any kind of affairs, anything that is underhanded. But this placement tends to work out well for you. This can definitely take you into wanting to get involved with travel, with learning, with different experiences with your partner. This is a great placement for entrepreneurship as well, because this directly aspects the third house of your self efforts. So this can definitely make you a skilled business person, a very talented and skillful person. And this can take you into teaching, writing, journalism, media, anything where you are dealing with knowledge and your skills and talents, taking you into independent and self-employment with this placement. This is all about your independence, your desire to be free and to do things in your own way. And definitely because this ninth house is very auspicious, you can make a great deal of wealth and find great success through your business life as well. With this placement, again, this can give you a free-spirited and open nature in your relationships. So definitely intimacy and closeness helps to make your relationships work better for you. Any kind of distance, space can disrupt your partnership. If the 7th house lord has gone into the 10th house of the chart, this makes you a career-oriented person, and definitely this can make you someone who's very successful, who can gain high status, high recognition. Support of superiors can be seen with this placement sometimes. This also, though, gives you an interesting approach towards your relationships. Because this 10th house is about karma, duty, and responsibility, you work really hard at your relationships. You're constantly working to make your partnerships work. And this is the most important factor in your relationships for them to thrive and for you to really have happiness in these connections. You also value security because this directly aspects onto the 4th house of the home. So having that homely, secure connection within your relationship becomes very important to you. This placement can also make you patriotic, where you're very attached to your home country, to your family in general. So again, that homely feel, that feeling of security, of closeness becomes very important to you. The 4th house also deals with luxuries and vehicles, so you can become a very luxurious person. You like to have the finer things in life, to have a beautiful environment, beautiful vehicles, beautiful possessions with this placement. And this can also make you a very creative and talented person. Sometimes with this placement, though, you can be a little too authoritative in your relationships, and there's definitely a need to allow your partner to have space and freedom to do their own thing. So typically with this placement, you could find yourself working with your partner, but you want to be careful of becoming too close in these connections, becoming too critical, too attached to your partner through your work environment. If the 7th house lord has gone into the 11th house of the chart, this is an auspicious placement. This definitely means that you can gain wealth and happiness through your relationships. This, though, is challenging in the sense that this house deals with lofty ideas, those big dreams that you have in life. So with the 7th house lord coming into this 11th house, your ideology becomes very important to you, which means you definitely need a partner who's on the same page as you. There can be conflicts if your partner does not have the same views as you do. And these views can be something that is political, social, moral, philosophical, anything. This is about having that mental connection, being on the same wavelength. This placement can also give you a desire to want to have children, because this directly aspects onto the 5th house of children and creativity. So definitely this becomes an important part of your relationships as well. But sometimes there can also be challenges related to children. Children can cause problems in your relationships as well. There can be some confusion over how children should be raised, disagreements with your partner in this area. So definitely this becomes a bit of a challenge for you as well. This placement can make you someone who's very social, and your social life becomes the key to your success. It's all about the people you know, all about the opportunities that come to you. And there are constant opportunities for your growth, for your success materially with this placement for sure. This is definitely a placement where even if you lose opportunities, a new doorway immediately opens up to you. And so you can have multiple sources of income, multiple directions that you're going in. This definitely brings you many opportunities in life. And with this placement, you could meet your partner through your social circle, through your network circle, through any societies or groups that you're a part of, even through elder siblings, as this is also associated with the 11th house. Sometimes you could also share creative talents and hobbies with your partner with this aspect onto the 5th house. At the same time, with this placement, you want to be careful about who you are connected to in your social circle, because just as much as this can support your relationships, getting involved with the wrong people can also create harm and conflicts within your relationships as well. If the 7th house lord has gone into the 12th house of the chart, this is going to be a bit of a complicated position, similar to the 6th and the 8th house, which are all Dushtana houses, some of the most challenging houses in the chart. So with the 7th house lord coming into the 12th house, there can be some dissatisfaction in your relationships. And this is mainly due to the 12th house being about liberation, about breaking free from this material world. So with this placement, this could also make you someone who is celibate, who is more interested in spirituality and meditation and really diving into deep contemplation. And sometimes with this position, if you are involved in a relationship, you may need a great deal of space from your partner as well. Sometimes this can indicate long distance relationships or having relationships with those from different cultural backgrounds, from foreign places. This definitely can show that you can meet your partner in foreign lands or while traveling. Because the 12th house is a very mysterious house, there also can be some underhanded things happening in the relationship, similar to the 8th house, where you want to be careful about your actions, making sure that you're not getting into secret affairs and all sorts of situations from behind the scenes. And this can be the same case for your partner, who could also be getting into secret affairs and situations as well. So it's very important with this placement to be honest and to really be open in your connection with your partner. Another issue that can come with the 7th lord in the 12th house is a loss of wealth. This is the house of expenditure. So your partner could also be someone who is a bit of a spendthrift, or there can be some situation that is creating loss within your relationships. You could even have a partner who struggles with illnesses, with all sorts of difficulties that amount to a multitude of expenses. So definitely with this placement, you want to be open and honest in regards to your finances as well, not keeping things secret and hidden in these areas. This placement is the place of bed pleasure, so it can also make you someone who's very sexual, who is very much interested in getting closer and having deep bonds and connections. But as I mentioned earlier, there can be a feeling of dissatisfaction or detachment, not finding the closeness or connection that you are seeking. This placement also can make you a healer, a therapist, a counselor, someone who is seeking to help others, because the 12th house is a house of hospitals, prisons, asylums, all sorts of places that deal with isolation and treatment. So this placement can definitely take you into the healing field. And as this aspects directly onto the 6th house of health and healing, this definitely gets you into fitness, into diet, into all sorts of healing methods in your life. This can also become a part of your relationship. You can become very active in your relationship, engaging in different activities and exercises with your partner as well. And because the 6th house deals with small pets and animals, this definitely can mean that having a pet can help to strengthen your relationship, and in general, having a pet can bring happiness and blessings into your life. In the previous video on the lords, we talked about the 6th lord being about our weaknesses, being about the shadrapus. So with this placement, as it aspects directly onto the 6th house, it's all about cleansing your shadrapus. It's all about discovering what your weaknesses are, discovering what those areas are that you need to work on at a deeper level. So this house of isolation can be helpful to you in going into deep contemplation and looking into yourself, dealing with some of these situations. And as you work on yourself, as you improve upon some of these areas, it also helps to bring in partners who are more suited for you. Because another aspect of this placement is that you can attract those who have psychological problems or who are struggling in life, as you have this healing energy coming back into this 12th house.